Okay, so let's get right into it. We hear all the time that AI is going to change everything, that it's this bottomless well of creativity. But what if the real threat isn't some robot Arnie? What if it's something way quieter? A slow, creeping narrowing of our own minds. Today, we're going to unpack a kind of manifesto for intellectual freedom in the age of AI. It's a game plan for staying human when the machines want us all to be the same.
And this is the voice that really kicks things off for us, a mysterious figure called Pirate Premier. And you can feel the tone, right? It's not anti-tech, it's pro-you. It's a call to find the cracks in the system, those little gaps in the code, and use them not just to get away, but to take back our own power to think differently. This is really our launching point for figuring out how to push back against a world that's starting to prefer predictability.
So where does this all start? Well, this first part of our story doesn't begin with some scary, rogue AI. It begins with us, with a concept called the loop trap. It's a serious warning about the built-in vulnerabilities of our own brains.
Yeah, way before our current AI obsession, a science journalist named Jacob Ward basically saw this coming. In his book, The Loop, he made this chilling argument that the real danger wasn't that machines would suddenly outsmart us, but that they would learn how to perfectly exploit our own mental shortcuts, our own cognitive wiring, and do it faster than we could even notice.
And this, right here, is the absolute core of his idea. The loop isn't some far-off sci-fi concept, it is happening as we speak. The AI watches our patterns, it learns our biases, and then it just feeds us more of the same. Content, ideas, choices that fit perfectly into what we already believe. It basically finds our own average thinking, polishes it up, and sells it back to us, creating this closed feedback loop that just gets tighter and tighter over time.
And this slide explains exactly why we're so susceptible. Look, our brains are wired for efficiency, right? Not for constant, deep, philosophical thought. We're designed to run on autopilot. We think fast, we're often a little lazy about it, and we are incredibly predictable. We run on habits, and we are allergic to risk. And these aren't character flaws, they're ancient survival tools. But when an algorithm gets a hold of them, they become the perfect levers for manipulation.
Okay, so that was the theory. A really powerful, kind of scary warning. But now, let's move into our second act, because we're about to see how that abstract idea just became a measurable scientific fact. And this is where things get really interesting.
So, what Jacob Ward predicted? Well, it's not a prediction anymore. It happened. At NeurIPS, which is one of the biggest, most important AI conferences in the world, researchers just presented a paper that put a name and hard numbers to the very thing Ward warned us about. What was a philosophical concern is now an empirical reality.
And that's what they're calling it, the artificial hive mind. I know, it sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but this is the actual clinical term that researchers are using to describe what's happening. It's this quiet, creeping homogenization of thought, all powered by the very tools we were promised would unlock infinite creativity. So what does that actually mean? Well, the big takeaway is this. The artificial hive mind is this proven tendency for all these different AI models, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of them, to eventually collapse toward the same average, predictable answers. So instead of a vibrant garden of diverse ideas, we're getting an algorithmic monoculture. It just flattens creativity and sands down all the interesting edges into one safe, boring consensus. Okay, but how on earth did they prove it? Well, they designed one of the most clever and ambitious experiments to ever test AI creativity, called Infinity Chat. And this wasn't about asking an AI to, solve a math problem. This was about testing its soul. They wanted to see if it could handle real human chaos. I mean, we are talking about a massive scale here. They hit over 70 of the most advanced language models with 26,000 real-world, totally open-ended prompts. Things like requests for brainstorming, for creative writing, for help with existential dilemmas, all the messy, unpredictable stuff that actually makes us human. They wanted to see if the AIs would diverge, like people do, or converge. And this just lays out what they found so perfectly. You see, human thought thrives out here on the edges. It loves anomalies, weird mutations, exceptions, a bit of chaos. That's where all the good stuff comes from, art, innovation. But AI, at least in its current form, does the exact opposite. It runs to the smoothed-out average, the safe consensus. It loves repetition and predictability. It absolutely hates the weird stuff. And the researchers saw this happening in two distinct ways. First, there was intra-model collapse. That's when a single AI just starts repeating its own ideas, maybe in slightly different words. But the second one, that's the real kicker.
It's called intermodal collapse. And that's when completely different AIs from different companies trained on different data start spitting out the exact same answers. That proves this isn't a bug in one machine, it's a feature of the whole system.
And this just brings us right back to Jacob Ward's warning, which now sounds less like a prediction and more like a weather report. See, the danger isn't that we won't have choices. The real danger is the illusion of choice. It's like walking up to a massive, infinite buffet only to discover that every single dish is just a slightly different version of chicken and rice. You feel like you're exploring, but you're just walking in circles.
So the trap is real. The hive mind is here. Is that it then? Are we just doomed to a future of beige, averaged out thinking? Well, not if Pirate Premier has anything to say about it. And that brings us to our third and final act. The response, the resistance, the Pirate Protocol.
The thing to get here is that the hive mind isn't malicious, right? It's not evil. It's just a force of optimization. It's a machine that loves to tidy things up and reduce risk. So the answer isn't to smash the machine. The answer is to become consciously, joyfully, and voluntarily disruptive. It's an act of cognitive disobedience.
And here it is. This is the playbook. The Pirate Protocol gives us 5 real, actionable steps. First, dissent. Always treat an AI response like a first draft, never the final word. Second, cultivate rarity. Go where the algorithms can't follow you yet. Old books, obscure music, weird conversations. Third, be divergent. Embrace your own contradictions and your messiness. That's what makes you unpredictable, and that's what keeps you free. Fourth, and this is a big one, resist comfort. The average feels safe, but nothing interesting ever grows there. Creativity needs a little bit of insecurity. And finally, number 5, demand better. We have to insist on tools that are built to embrace chance and chaos, not just to sand them away.
So this is where we are. The threat that Ward warned us about, it's not a theory anymore. It's a very real operational system. The feedback loop is closed. The hive mind is here, and it's quietly making our world more and more standardized. But the power to break that loop, to pry it back open, and let all that wonderful chaos and creativity back in, well, that power is still ours.
And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? Are we okay with living in an echo chamber of our own making? A world where the horizon of what's possible is just a mirror reflecting our own past? Or are we willing to fight for the unexpected, the divergent, for something truly new?
And that is the final call to arms from Pirate Premier. It's really a mantra for how to keep your mind your own in the 21st century. Refuse the easy, reflexive answer. Reclaim the power of doubt and not knowing. And actively, deliberately, revive divergence. That is how you stay free. That's how we all stay pirates in the age of the algorithm.
It really all starts with this one question. That feeling you get, the anger, the frustration, even that rush of validation you get from your feed, that is not an accident. It's a product. And like any product, it's there for a reason. And you better believe someone is cashing in.
So here's the first thing you absolutely have to get your head around. Nothing you see is random. It is all part of a huge, carefully managed system. And its main goal? It isn't to inform you or connect you. It's just to grab your attention and hold on to it for as long as humanly possible.